Hello and welcome to session 38 in the Kingdom of Agick. I am Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D. Playing some 5e D&D, and here is the quick recap. I'm going to try to do this in a minute. The intrepid adventurers, our party, who is as of yet unnamed, I suppose. We haven't determined if they have a group name yet. Regardless, they were sent down, or found their way down, I should say. Not so much sent, but they found their way down into the this earth cult's lair, which is in an abandoned temple beneath the Sacred Stone Monastery, which they found their way to. They were pointed there, in fact, by what they believed to be members of an air cult, and so they proceeded to clear out the upper levels of this monastery, the caves of the monastery, and now are all the way down into the depths. Apparently, however, you have found a staircase leading down, as well as two longer corridors. So far, you found one heading off through a door and heading off towards the west. And then there's another that you found that heads out down to the south that seem to lead into different areas of this subterranean complex. You're trying to clear out this entry area, the first stage of this kind of, this complex that you've entered into. And in doing so, you were able to enlist the assistance of an Etin named Brug Norb, who has gone stomping off through the complex, and you guys circled around the other direction, and as it were, you ended up finding yourselves back close at hand with this Etin. He was engaged, or had apparently just engaged in combat with some of these cultists. In fact, one cultist riding on the boulet, which we're calling a burrow shark, and 4 hobgoblins. And then you quickly dispatched them, kind of coming to Brug Norb's aid. And right as the last of them fell to the ground, it seems that reinforcements were sort of collecting themselves and getting ready to break out to aid, to back up these people that seem to be, from what you can tell, you found the entryway guardians or guards. You kind of have calculated, for sure Farron has, possibly Boslan, but definitely, I would say definitely Farron and Kyra, both having a better concept of the underground, having studied or being from there. You kind of get this natural sense, like, oh, I think we circled around. We're almost back at where we came down here. So you imagine if you head just a little bit farther north, you'll find that weird walkway that you crossed when you first came down to this level. The backup that came out of this door is in the tune of 5 Duragar, 2 of which have these crossbows that they aimed and fired, and 3 of which came into the room and immediately enlarged themselves, growing double their size and flexing their muscles or something. And Boslan was able to slice and dice one of them pretty good. It did not go down, however, it definitely took a beating at the end of Boslan's short sword. And that's sort of where we left. We're at the top of the round in combat. I'm going to get us to some more more appropriate music here for some combat, and we'll get right back into the quote-unquote swing of things. We are, of course, playing with Farron, Kyra, Boslan, and Kalen, who is MIA tonight. He's not with us this evening, so we're going to run him as an NPC. So that all being said, let's get some combat going. 21 at the top of the round is it was the burrow shark there, tied with Kalen. But the burrow shark is now dead, lying on the floor. You have not had a chance to search him yet, and so Kalen is first to act. I will sort of let you all guide me in what you think he would want to do in this situation, I'll let you know that he currently has at his disposal one remaining bardic inspiration before taking a short or a long rest, and he has let's see, 3 first level spells. Oh, they changed the character sheet. 3 first level spells, 2 second level spells, 2 third level spells, and 1 fourth level spell. So you could do a Stinking Cloud. You could do Cloud of Daggers, Shatter, Thunderwave. These are some of the things you've seen him do. His cantrips are Light, Vicious Mockery, Prestidigitation, and Light Stun. Those are really going to help you in this moment. Probably, except maybe Vicious Mockery. Although you could blind something. So, do you want him to charge forward with swords, or do you want him to chuck like a Stinking Cloud towards the back there, or something like this? What do you think? What should he do?
I was thinking either Stinking Cloud or Cloud of Daggers. The Thunder Wave and Shatter are probably noisier than we need. I don't think either one of them's got their voice active or functioning.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you. Can you not hear me, Brett?
I can. He's faint. I think it was just a text earlier.
Ah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Everybody refresh. Just hit the little refresh button. Reconnect. Above your picture.
Do that. Make sure everybody's got it. Reconnect. All the way at the bottom right.
On 2 because I'm having problems.
Now I can hear you. No, Michelle, I couldn't hear you, and now I do. So I think Reed was right. We probably just all needed a refresh.
Yeah, you don't need to, Michelle.
Yeah, because I was answering when you asked the question. I answered it.
Oh, crud! I did not hear you.
Yeah.
I probably forgot to. Well, I did.
No, it was the refresh. I don't know. I had the same problem in the game that I ran yesterday. I had to
right.
click it.
Well,
no, I was saying whatever you want is fine. I'm trying to figure out like
what you're gonna do.
Yeah, because I know what I'm gonna do, but since I have a new sheet, I think it might be. I haven't been putting what I prepared because it was slowing it down and
Sure.
all this. I'm
That's fine.
just trying to see if it will be okay.
Right on.
So,
Yeah, take your time, and I know you track it on your own paper, so that's fine.
Yeah, I'm using a cyclo.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Coolio. All right, so Stinking Cloud. I mean, that would certainly. Although they are Durgar, and from what you know of dwarves, they tend to be
Daggers.
somewhat. Yeah, the daggers might make the better sense in this moment.
Yeah. All right.
Any objections?
Yeah, whatever y'all think is fine.
What's
So
that when anyone else
I'm
finds the
thinking he'd
corpses
pop
if
it
there
like
aren't any of us?
right there, maybe.
You could always just go swinging.
3, 4.
All right, let's say he just wants to charge in and
Save his
get in.
spells for later.
Yeah, save his spells a little bit. Doesn't see a way to get into advantage with Bossalon there, so he's just gonna head straight at that big dude and like he'll quip something ridiculous like, "Hey there, big fella," and swing his swords. So he gets 3 attacks here. So let's see how that goes down. So main hand weapon is going to be a 25 hits for sure. So he gets the first hit, then his offhand we'll say is next, and then that I'm gonna have to check that one. 16, does 16 hit these buggers? 16 is exactly what he needs to hit. So that's 2 hits with the longsword. He's taking a cue from Bossalon there. And with his last longsword slashing across, let's see if that's a hit as well. 3 hits in a row. So he decides he's going to show Bossalon a thing or two. Like, I know how to use swords as well. And walks right up to this thing. And it's bigger than he is now. So he slices across its waist, slices across its thigh, and then and this last one down at the ankle, and just like chung, 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 with 3 quick slips of his sword, gets a nice bit of damage on this Durgar in front of him, to the tune of let's see, 25 slashing damage. The Durgar is like is literally cut. You see his right leg get slashed, and he kind of like limps down to one side, and then his other one. Then he slashes his ankle, and he can't even hold himself up. You see him just fall down to the ground, and there's no movement from him. He's just apparently Kalen snagged one of his arteries, and the guy's just bleeding profusely and crumpled onto the floor. Well done, Farron. You gonna shoot him with the bow, huh? Taking Storm Fury out?
No.
Or was that accident?
Yeah, I was just looking at Kalen's. I was like, what's that?
Hey, I got a question, Gregory.
Yes, I got an answer.
I'm sorry. I'll answer after. I'm sorry I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, I was just wondering what is +4s from?
+4.
Yeah.
3, 2, 4. Good question. Let me check the sheet here.
So this is a melee weapon attack.
He should be +5.
Anyway.
Yeah, that doesn't look right. Let's see. Let me see. Strength.
Oh, I'm gonna have to put it in there manually. She don't have this.
Why does he have a +4? Good question. Nice catch. Let me see if there's something I'm not.
So those dudes with the thingies and crossbows.
Is it a
Yes.
bard-related thing for being a battle bard?
Yeah,
or whatever
maybe.
it is?
Maybe it's because it's
Old modifiers. What the heck is this? Old modifiers. Melee weapon. Okay. There's some old modifiers in here for some reason. I'm gonna delete that and see what that does. So I'm gonna just for grins, I'm gonna roll the attack again and see if that fixed it. It looks like it probably did. Did yours do the same thing? No, yours didn't do that. Oh, yeah, it did. 3, 3, 1. That doesn't seem right. 3, 2, 4.
My dex is a 3. My dex is a 3.
Uh-huh.
My proficiency bonus is a 3, and it's a magic weapon.
Ah, yes. Okay, so yours is correct. His was not correct, but for the sake of flavor, I'm going to let it stand.
Yeah.
Because that was exciting and kind of cool. So I'm just going to let it be. But I did fix it. Thank you for catching that. I appreciate that, Reed. So he runs up, slices quickly 3 times, cuts an artery somewhere, and manages to bleed this guy out. That means, Farron, you are up. So you're not going to use Storm Fury, though.
I might, yeah.
Yeah.
I might just take 2 to Mr. Green. So I'll
Go for it.
move to there so I can see him.
Yeah, super. Perfect.
And I'll just take 2 shots.
All right, so you unsling your bow, pull an arrow out, let 2 fly, both of them piercing through. The first one hitting the man in the shoulder, second one hitting him in the hip, and he is not happy with those bits of damage. He's still standing, but he's kind of like favoring one side now. All right, well done. Bonus action.
Then,
oh no, wait.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you do have bonus action.
Oh yeah, I can make anything a bonus action. 2 sorcery points. And I will go, oh! What's that over there behind you? That's amazing!
Jesus. All right. And fire erupts. Where are you planting it?
Do you have them? Yeah, you can pull them out.
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll get that for you.
I think it'll be... yeah, if it's like there, it'll like hit.
That's 10 foot. Let me give you 20 foot. Let's see, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think if it
that's
goes
too
here.
much. That's too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, it's one more actually.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Yes.
All right,
You-
so now let me give
that.
you some control of it.
Okay.
Controlled by Farron, tint color. Just so it's easier to figure it out, I'm gonna give it orange. There you go.
So yeah, right there.
Yeah, so you tuck it back into the corner. Some of it blows by Boslan, but he's got his shield up, protecting himself, so it's kind of harmlessly rolls off his armor. Some of it curls around the corner into that antechamber to the north. And a lot of it, since the door is still open, blows back into that corridor. And Kalen kind of raises his arm up instinctively to kind of like block the light with his forearm. Same thing, Boslan. You probably dip your eyes right below your shield. Kind of momentarily got a little bit of a second or two of blinding light in your face.
And I'm probably shielded by the Duergar as well.
Oh my god, with 31 damage, you just incinerate all of them, Farron.
Do they save?
That's fair. I do need to save for them. You might do it. It's pretty damn close. All right, so yeah, this'll be, if they save, they'll survive. If they don't save, they're dead. So
That's a pretty big fireball.
yeah, that's a massive one. So there you go. All right, so let's see how this goes. So we're gonna
Yeah, there's
go
lots of twos in there.
clockwise from red there. So
2 2s, 3 4s, no, 4 4s, a 5 and a 6. So not that great.
No, I mean, but usually you didn't have that many under 4, so
Yeah, I suppose.
yeah. So I think it's pretty. That's pretty decent.
Nice if those 2 2s were 2 6s.
where it just changed. So see there.
Yeah.
So
So
don't give me
it would be
anything.
39 instead of 31.
So I can't.
Yeah.
So it's pretty.
How
it's still pretty big.
bizarre. All right. Well, this is weird because it's not giving me the actual. Interesting. Let me double check something real quick to make sure I get the right. Oh, excuse me. Give them the right number.
Yeah, and the little box it popped up in is different too.
I was typing in my spell watery sphere because it's not on there,
Okay, so
and it kept deleting it every time I put it in there.
Oh.
all right, so it's
It's like-
dexterity saving throws. They have +0. I'm giving it a check because for some reason the saving throw doesn't show up anymore. I'll have to maybe try to fix that later. Okay, so the red guy fails. The purple dude, he is
Nope.
not gonna make it.
It'll be
The
16.
green dude is gonna die regardless, but just for kicks, we'll see if he tries to dodge out. Nope, he catches it in the face. And the blue guy is none of them save. All right, so as I was fearing or imagining, and to their utter dismay, they all just there's like a momentary cry out in pain as they all just get nearly incinerated and collapse to the floor in smoking piles of burnt flesh. And as quickly as the combat started, Farron puts an end to it. Bam!
Party pooper.
I would like to do something else if
Alright.
you don't
Yeah.
kill it. I'd appreciate it.
Go ahead.
The order, that is.
You're gonna bash that.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
what did you want to do?
No, I'm gonna move it and open the door. And if there's bad guys, I'm gonna run it in there and go and finish them off. So
Fair,
that's
fair,
why
fair. I got you.
I have 8 rounds left, so I'm gonna use them.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, so let's say a moment later, so Brug Norb is like, he's actually does essentially the same thing that Kalen did. He's kind of got both of his arms up, one in front of one head, one in front of the other head, just kind of like shying back from the fire. In fact, he probably takes a little half step back down that corridor. You, I would imagine, just kind of move your fireball or fire sphere off the side for a moment, or are you going to use mage hand?
I'm just going to move it to the side. I'm just going to move it right here, and then I'm going to walk up and open the door.
Yeah,
Use
okay.
my action.
So for the sake of time, this is easy to deal with. Let me just let me clean up the map real quick, and show y'all what you see. I'm gonna pull this back out a tiny bit.
And
Yes.
then if there's no bad guys in there, I'm gonna walk back around the corner and do the same thing down
There are no bad guys in that room. So we'll say, so action to open the door, bonus action to move the sphere a little bit, and I'll let you finish.
there. Yeah, I
moving
can
it
move the
forever.
sphere 30 feet.
Right. So
But
you-
I won't if you're like, hey, you chose to only move it 2 spaces. That's fine.
No,
but I
no.
still have movement left, so I'm gonna.
No, you have plenty of room.
walk.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm just gonna open this up so y'all can see what we're looking at here. So, so you open it up and peek in there, kind of stick your head around a little bit. You see that it opens up into some bed chambers, apparently.
Okay.
Let me. I think I have a description here for you. So just bear with me while I open to that.
That's fine. While you're doing that, I'm just gonna finish my move. So it's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
and
okay,
Then I'm
so-
gonna move back.
This large, yeah, you go ahead and finish
Three.
your movement.
And then
This large suite consists of several small rooms linked by low archways. Brown curtains offer some amount of privacy for the different rooms, and martial displays cover the walls. Shields and crossed swords, tattered banners, and a few mounted monster heads, including those of a Periton and a Manticore. Apparently, some of the your best guess is that some of the inhabitants of this room, you see some things like hastily thrown aside, it looks like, and probably a bunch of the guards and such that were encountering you at different parts in the corridors and such were probably use this room as a bunkhouse. So you open the door, peek around, and then you can move back.
Okay, I did, and I moved my sphere count down 1, and I'm gonna just, whenever it gets my turn again, I'm gonna do something else.
Thank you. All right. So in that turn, so that was Farron. Then is Brugnorb. He's just sort of like looking around, trying to assess the situation. Sort of sees that those guys are destroyed. Kind of eyeing the rest of you. Boslan, did you want to do anything right now?
I was still trying to swing my sword, and someone blew up my Duergar.
Uh-huh.
I will search the bodies.
Oh, crud. I just took you out of the...
See,
by
I was that
accident.
slow.
I'll fix it. Add turn, and you are on 7. Okay, you're going to start searching the bodies. All right, give me a investigation check. And then Kaylin is going to assist you, so go ahead and roll it with it. We'll take that with advantage. Oh, good God!
There we go. Did that help? I had advantage.
Huh? Wow.
Like, what happened to Duergar? I didn't even recognize a smoking corpse in front of me.
Yeah, they're pretty incinerated. So you don't really find much. They have I can tell you what they're like armed with, but which is
Probably
fairly
look at them and
obvious.
just, it ain't worth the effort.
Yeah, I mean,
Crispy critters.
they have, what the heck do they have? I think they have war picks. I forget what their armor is. The guys that were enlarged, their armor is going to be sort of worthless to y'all anyway. Scale mail, shields, and war picks. There are some javelins. These guys didn't have a chance. Boslan might know that. Give me roll a history check for me.
History.
Yeah.
You know, intelligence aren't exactly my strong points.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're up to. Yeah. So you really haven't had a whole lot of experience with Duergar. They kind of look like dwarves to you, but you've never seen a dwarf that big. It's like a giant.
I haven't
size
encountered them before.
Yeah, you haven't encountered them before. The others might think that none of these got a chance to turn invisible on y'all. You do know that they have that ability, so we'll say Kaylin says to you, careful, my friend, there might be still some of them around. The little bastards can go invisible. And so you sort of notice him, like he's trying to help you look through the bodies, but he's also sort of like, he's still on guard. He's like he expects the other shoe to drop. That is a good question. do they shrink back down when they're dead? It doesn't say. We're gonna say yes. Why not? That's probably what happens. Because the magical endowment wears off or something. So anyway, they shrink down, and so you guys are distracted by that. So then that was Boslan and Kalen. So Farron, it's kind of back to you. What you see Boslan and Kalen rooting around. You heard Kalen remind you that these suckers can go invisible. And you know that Kyra is checking behind you, checking around.
There's like pat my stomach. Must have something spicy for rations. Well, I don't know. Like, do we want to go check? Maybe they didn't all come out.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like, are we in or out of initiative? I wanted to use my 7 rounds, so
yeah,
I'm not requesting to stay in initiative, but I would like to.
Yeah, we will stay in initiative. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. So I just want to know because I want to open it.
I was thinking like if you didn't want to stay in initiative, another way you could do your sphere is just whenever you move it 30 feet, just deduct.
That's what I was going to do. That's why I was asking.
That
if
sense.
We were or not.
Deduct 1 every time she moves it. Yeah, I mean that's fine, but it's easy. It's just as easy to keep it in initiative for the moment.
Right here. Okay.
Alright, so what do you want to do? You have there's a door back that they came through. It is currently open. There is a passageway to the north. There's the passageway that Brugnorb came down, but you imagine it's clear since he came down it.
There's Kyra. Is there anything in that room over there? Did you see anything or hear anything?
There's just beds. You might want to go check. I'm just going to go, since I have my sphere up, I'm going to quickly just start opening doors and just bashing heads if I see them. That's what I say.
Okay, I'll follow you. Investigation does not appear to be my strong point. And I would suggest we head for the stairs down. If we're all the way back at the entrance, is probably not the direction that it's worthwhile for us to go.
I think, yeah. Do I hear anything in the room?
Are you on mute, Gregory?
Yes, I was. I said, give me a perception check with advantage, since Kalen is right over there, sort of giving you some assistance. Oh yeah.
Was that for me? Was that for me, or was that for?
You don't hear anything.
See the roaches on the ground.
Yeah, you're fairly certain you don't hear anything in the vicinity other than like maybe little bits of like some dripping water, a slight sense of like wind, not wind, but you can hear the air isn't stale down here. There is some little bit of air current.
Yeah.
It's slight, very very slight, but you hear the crackling of the fake flames from the torches.
Call out. Don't hear anything in here. Probably empty.
Yeah. For the sake of time, I'm gonna say that Kalen will take the next few moments to poke his head in here, and you can search around in the rooms if you want. It looks like Farron's gonna do that already. So let's say that Farron picks that room. Kalen takes this other room. And sort of searches around. He sees that there's an arrow slit, sort of like here, where apparently it's like a you imagine that if somebody comes and forces their way through the broken doors, trying to force their way through the entrance here, that they could easily sort of pin them down in that little antechamber. He can see that there appears to be I'll say a similar slit on the other side. He kind of looks through and can kind of see across that little hallway that there seems to be that would be over here. Oops, I don't have my thing selected right. that would be over here on the opposite side. He sees looks like another arrow slit. Yeah, those torches are basically all continual flame torches. So if you wanted to grab one of them, it would, I'm certain at some point come in handy for. Bossalon has his own light source, but Kalen can cast light, but he could conceivably grab
because you
one.
can always just drop it as a free action,
Exactly.
so it won't hinder.
Exactly, and you can bash heads with it too if you want. All right, so Kalen entered the east guard room. Crumbling masonry in this old guard room illustrates the great age of this dungeon. To the north, a long gallery leads to an arrow slit in the western wall. That's the one I indicated a moment ago. To the south, piles of rubble choke a small inner chamber. Half a dozen plain bedrolls and an iron stove furnish the room. A pile of firewood nearby keeps the stove well stoked. Aside from the light crossbows, that room seems to be empty when Kalen searches. Let me just double check, make sure he doesn't find anything. See if he finds anything is what I mean to say. Investigation. I'm going to say it's going to take him 3 rounds maybe to search that whole room. He does a pretty good toss over of it. He thinks that the Durgar had their own stuff. He does find at some point maybe double checking the Durgar like coin purse. He does see that there's coin purses. So you all will get. Let's see, there's 5 of them, right? So that's going to be a lot. I'm going to use the die roller 5 times. So that's going to be 10. So you guys find 101 gold pieces.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll put that in the group loot.
Again, it's going to take him. We're going to say it's going to take him a good 3-4 rounds to kind of get that all handled, like snatching purses. Obviously, he's not going to count it right now, but he's just going to go snatch them off the bodies, kick through the bedrolls, maybe take a quick jog down that corridor to check out that arrow slit. Farron, since you're in the other room, why don't you give me a similar investigation check there? And Kyra, you can go ahead and make your next move with Bossalon.
Okay.
17, excellent. So in that room, you find.
I'm going to dash, and then I'm going to go like this.
Sure. Okay, so you make it all the way up to the door, no problem.
Yep.
And then move your flame and just mark that down one more.
I will. Don't stand next to it.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for it to get out of the way.
Okay. You can run past it, though. No problem. You just don't need to end your turn.
I don't know where it's going, so I'm like keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of keeping it close enough to where if I need it, I can just pull it in, but not too close.
Explodes.
Was that the 20d10 damage that Greg rolled?
No.
That wasn't damage.
It does
luckily.
like 3D.
Oh, so that's a powerful flaming sphere.
Yeah, really. So, Farron, you root around real quick. In addition to finding, like I said, there are like swords and shields and stuff. Nothing superior to what you guys currently have. And a lot of it has this stylized earth deal that you've been seeing. Some of it gives you the impression more like trophies, because there's kind of these torn banners and stuff like that as well. And you haven't seen any of these guys wearing swords except for the few cultists that have the scimitars. All the other earth cultists seem to be using like clubs or staves or bludgeoning weapons, right? What you do find though is tucked up in the bed of one of these, like under the pillow or something, you find and it seems to be one of the this one maybe over here by itself, which there was curtains on those 2 archways, so maybe this was like one of the commander's rooms or something like that. Perhaps like that burrow shark that you just fought or somebody like this. You find a small purse, and it has 15 gold, 5 platinum, and 5 fine citrines. You pretty much guess that they're probably worth 40 gold pieces each.
Okay.
So it's quite a nice little stash. And you
will-
can pocket those or show them to the group at your leisure.
Yeah, I'll check it out here. Play.
Kyra, give me a perception check when you get up to that door.
Okay.
Excuse me.
And this sheet gonna be nice to me.
So there was 5 platinum, right?
I don't
Yep.
know if it.
15 gold, 5 platinum, and 5 citrines worth 40 gold pieces each. So, quite a nice little haul. Yeah, so you kind of like you run down the hallway and kind of draw up right next to the door, kind of calm your breathing for a moment, put your ear towards the edge of the edge of the stone slab that makes up the door. You believe you hear some muffled voices behind the door. Low conversation, perhaps.
My next turn, I'm gonna just open the door and be like, "Surprise, bitches!" And I don't know. It could be friendly for all I know, but I'm doing it.
All right. So we're gonna say it's go ahead. It's next. It is your turn.
All right.
So we're gonna
action.
because like I said, Farron and Kaylin, they're gonna take another. I'm gonna say another 3 turns to like, run through these.
Okay. And because I have just enough
rooms.
space to open it, move, and then pull my sphere all the way around in front of me in
if
the
you
door.
want to, yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. So first, you open the door. You swing the door open all the way.
Swing the door
Yes.
open. Yes.
All right. Let me
All the
double
way.
check. I do not believe it is locked. I just want to double check. Make sure I'm not making a mistake. That door is.
But Kyra would probably say it nicer than that. So how would I say that? That's what Michelle's gonna say. Kyra would be like, "Oh, hello," and then sphere.
Nice.
Say hello to my little friend.
A big massive ball. That's level 3 because I didn't have any level 2s.
Play with my ball.
That's why I didn't want to get rid of it. I'm like, I'll use a level 3, so
Okay, so Farron's got a little friend, and Kyra's got a big, massive ball.
that's Mine's bigger than yours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my fireball is bigger than yours.
True. Kyra goes for endurance, Farron just goes for the big flash.
Yeah.
Isn't it that way with most guys and women?
Could be.
Okay, just
Your ball lasts longer.
All right. So
Hot and
carved into
fast.
this door before you open it. This door is different than the others, Kyra. So before
Okay.
you open it, I'm gonna tell you that carved into this door is a frowning dwarf warrior in plate armor with spiky maces where his fists should be.
okay. Well, Kyra's still gonna do the same thing,
Open the
which
door.
might lead to be like explosion. But yeah,
Well, let's cross our fingers.
I would do it anyways.
All right, so you open the door and you see 3 figures standing inside. Large stone statues carved to look like scowling dwarf warriors line the walls of this large chamber. Each statue has spiky maces in place of hands. However, several of the statues are melted or deformed. The flagstones in the middle of the room have been removed to reveal a surface of natural rock. Several work tables and shelves full of alchemical reagents are tucked up against the walls between the statues.
Okay, well, my sphere is going for the reagents to blow up the whole freaking room, just letting you know. But I would do that and be like, "Oh, hello, sorry to interrupt." And then I'd move out of the way and I'd pull my sphere to here.
All right. So
So let's see.
one
that
of the
was
figures.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Sure.
That's where I would go.
Sure. All right. So one of the figures looks sort of like this.
Oh, let me-
He's got a staff. He's sort of looks a little different than anyone you've ever seen, actually. His skin looks like stone, but different than the others. The others, it was clearly magical in nature, the way they adorned themselves. It was an effecture of what they were wearing. So their what do you call it? Their armor, their clothing, and so forth. This creature has a different appearance. I'm trying to find the description, so please bear with me while I flip to the right page. Come on now. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So one thing you notice is like there's mud that seems to cling to his clothes. He doesn't look dirty in the sense it's like he looks clean, but it's like there's mud on the rims of his robes and so forth. It's almost like you see a ring of mud around his neck, even though his face seems perfectly clean. His skin is like this deep dark brown. Give me a nature check.
Okay.
See if you know what this creature is.
I assume I didn't see him, so I'm.
It's a creature.
Yeah, you're gonna have to inspect it maybe a little closer. The glance you got didn't really give you a clear indication. You saw those things that I just basically described to you. And
Hello, bad guys.
you do also notice that there is one of these what you've come to call or hear called referred to as a Black Earth Guard. So it's this big hulking dude in the stone plate mail with the stone baseball bat, Morning Star. There's also apparently seems like it might be one of the monks. So it's dressed with those coppery sort of masks that you had seen in the people that are upstairs. We didn't really discuss what Brug Norb is gonna do. I'm thinking like after the combat and seeing you all head in that direction. He's pretty wounded at this point. Since you all seem to sort of not pay him much mind, he's gonna start to slink back the way he came. You think he might be going to try to lick his wounds.
Oh, so he decided not to keep going outside.
Seems
Maybe
like
he's
he's
gonna go-
not.
Okay, so he's gonna go back.
And I'm sorry, I didn't really... Oh, that was terrible of me. I didn't adjust the map correctly here. Sorry. So there, if you were watching, I apologize. But if you're listening, you got all the descriptions. So there you go. So you send your sphere into the room, and you hear someone from inside says, where are you, my friend? I need you. There you are. Someone from inside the room says, he says, "Oh dear, I hope you're not one of those blasted fire cultists. They are always giving us such trouble. Come now, are you the ones that have been causing such a ruckus?"
I'd say, how about I kill the two with you and then we'll talk. I don't trust them because they've been hurting us. So I'm gonna have to get rid of them first, and then we'll have a conversation. If not, we're just gonna have a conversation with my sphere.
My dear, they answer to me. They will not threaten you. We can certainly have a civilized conversation, can we not?
Yes, civilized conversation after they die. Okay, great, thanks. Like that's like the deal. If you want the deal, have that. If you don't want the deal, you can die with them, and we'll just figure out something later. Your choice.
But I need their assistance. I'm commending great works here. It takes much to understand the elements, does it not? I cannot continue my work if they are dead.
Kyra looks at Basilon and starts doing really I'm rolling my eyes, but I'm going visibly going I'm just gonna do it because I told him twice and it's happening. Because I want to have the conversation with him, but I'm just saying that's the deal because
surely we can come to some sort of agreement, if you are not members of the Earth Cult.
Yes, my agreement is get rid of them because they're with the people that's been, hurting us. So therefore, they go right now and we talk, or you can all go.
Well,
last chance.
I'm happy to send them away if it will make our conversation more pleasant.
I said yes. Send them away. Send them away. If you allow me to my next round, I will move over my sphere.
Okay.
And I say in Elvish very loudly, since I have no idea where Farron is, and I say, my love, the company that has been keeping us lovely dears is accompanying us. Please, hurry!
I look at her and I say, just because I don't speak Elvish, speaking louder doesn't help.
I'm kind of ditzy sometimes. I'm sorry. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna move my sphere so that they can get through. When I know it was a brief look, but sure. Did I get an idea of where the chemical supplies were?
There, yeah.
At least the side, whichever side.
They're probably against both walls. There's not a whole lot of room in here.
Where I'm heading my sphere to. I said I would move it out the way of the door, but that was the only promise that I made. So my sphere is going towards chemicals of explosionness. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'll be glad to talk to them, but yeah, the lackeys are going bye-bye as soon as they walk out this door.
Sure.
At least in my mind. So anyways, on my turn,
okay,
I'm just letting you know what I'm going to do on my turn. I told them I'd move the sphere so they can get out, and I will. But okay. I'm moving them towards the supplies.
Okay. Let me... Let's see.
And I'll even walk to kind of poke my head through the door to make sure I send it in the right spot.
All right. So we're sort of out of initiative unless you do something...
Yeah, I'm going to still be initiative because this is probably going to be something dramatic if he doesn't like what I like. Because I'm planning on these guys coming through this door, they're going to meet their end as soon as they walk through the door. Because I told them what I was going to do ahead of time. And I'm going to do exactly what I said.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I'm going to do two. One, I want to ask a question, then I'm going to have you make a roll too. So, are you planning to actually move the sphere into the table or towards the table?
Into the table to cause massive explosions. That's what I plan on doing. Okay. Because I wasn't actually going to do that at first, but then he's like, "Hey," I was like, "Okay, well, fine. I'll move it out of the way so they can come through." Okay. But while we're hiding behind walls and stuff, I'm gonna I'm gonna try to see if my fire will cause those chemicals to have some kind of reaction.
I follow you.
And try to blow up as much stuff as possible. Right. I'm so done with talking to people.
Oh God.
That I'm like, no. I told him the deal. He's making all these excuses, and I hear you. I'm not a monster. I don't want to everything, but I'm hey, here's the deal. I mean,
sure.
We're trying to get beat up.
Fair.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. These last 5 rounds, I'm gonna need them because I'm sure he's probably not gonna like that after I do that. But I told him the truth.
No, I got you. Okay. All right. So So give me a persuasion roll. Would you say you're trying to intimidate him or persuade him? Because it could go either way. So I'm fine either way. So whichever you prefer, give me that roll.
Probably more of intimidation. It's kind of hard to persuade somebody just with a big ball of kill stuff. So I'm going to say intimidation of Kyra's patience is waning. It's like, I would have been fine. I wanted to just kill those two and then have the conversation.
Uh-huh.
But he's just like, ugh. So I'm like, all right, fine then.
Okay.
But
I got you.
my intimidation is not so great either. Oh well, he's just gonna die with them because I'm doing it anyways.
No worries.
Oh well, hey.
All right, so with an 8,
you talk better than I do.
You gather he's not cowed. He doesn't trust you at all at this point. Although he is trying to negotiate. So so he essentially of course it's nothing there. That's what I thought. So he is essentially how's this gonna work? So he let me make a roll. Let's see if he's willing to. Doesn't seem like he wants to. Doesn't feel too safe without his guard here. So the last thing you said was get them out.
Last thing I said was, "Hey, how about we kill them,
right?
And then I'll talk to you."
And then he said,
and I guess meaning that I would be not hostile anymore after they're gone. I think that's what he would take from what I'm saying, and basically saying I'm hostile because of the people he's with. Because I've never met him or seen him, so I don't know if he's good or bad, and I'm not going to treat him like he's bad. But if he's insisting that he wants him to stay, then that tells Kyra that he's with them anyways, and just kill them all. And that's what's going to happen if he doesn't, comply.
Yeah. Well, you have every indication that he's with them. I mean,
well, of course, but I mean, Kyra doesn't want to just treat everybody the same.
Sure, fair enough. And he did. I think he did say they're essentially his assistants or something like that.
Right, but I mean, I feel like Kyra is trying to give him a little bit of. I mean, we didn't kill all of the other bad guys. We didn't kill the Ed. I mean, there was we don't have to go hack and slash everybody.
Right.
And I want to give my party a chance to get here to talk to him because maybe he has something important. But at this point, like everybody we come in contact with is hostile. So, except for people who are behind chains and stuff like that, and cell doors. So as far as I'm concerned, either he sends them to their deaths to protect himself, or I'm going to send my spear to try to blow up the room as much as possible. Of course, I don't say that because that would be dumb. I'm going to blow up the room. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, telling you, GM, that's what I'm going to do if he decides not to do it.
So I think he is going to so he says very well. And he says, Michael, Wilhelm, leave us. Do enter, so that we might have our conversation face to face.
So I put my sphere as close, not as close as I can, but going towards the direction of the table with the supplies. But I probably stop short, like maybe 10 feet, because I don't want to blow it up since he's like going
Right.
sure.
Right.
So,
Let's
and
say.
if I need to kind of get over so I can take a peek, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's say there's one here where this kind of open space is,
Okay.
and then there's one maybe here, where like this statue maybe is like melted and crumbled. In fact, let me do.
So then I
let me do
will
this so we can
put it here, and I will move my
around.
character here just so I can take a look to make sure that I
There's
get
like a
my
little table
sphere.
there, table there. Okay, perfect. So you.
So I moved here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'll just say 4 to right here, just to take a look to make sure that my sphere's in the right spot, and then I'll do 5, 6. So I'll end my turn here,
Uh-huh.
and my sphere. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I have some extra, but I'm gonna just leave it here just in case.
All right.
And let me pull it down one.
So you see the monk and the earth guard step forward, kind of eyeballing you guys. You know, they're suspicious, but they see that you haven't made a path for them to move by you.
I did. Oh, I
Boss
mean,
one
well,
is,
I can't
standing
walk.
shoulder to shoulder.
I can't go any
Figure out if they're
further.
coming out or we're going in or what the case is.
Well, they say they were coming out, and my thought process, I couldn't really tell you. So I feel like, as just like I did with the other ones, where I said, "Hey, I made a deal with you," and I audibly said that for my whole party to hear.
Uh-huh.
Like, my thought process is, then they know I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm making the deal. I don't care what you do with the two that walk out the door. I made a deal with the guy. So that's my attitude.
Fair enough. So so the earth guard sort of a little more boldly, sort of he's watching you. So what?
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand there.
Okay. He looks at you. He walks up here.
I haven't done my action yet. I just did my bonus and my movement, by the way.
He sees Boslan. Sort of glares at you, Boslan. Are you gonna do anything?
I'm just standing there. I got my helmet on, so
Yeah.
I'm sort of letting them pass.
So he quickly comes past Kyra. He kind of turns his back, so he's still facing you, Kyra. And if you'll let him, he's gonna step away.
You're like,
I'm
you
not
are so
gesticulating
suspicious. I'm gonna say that as he's walking. So suspicious.
The other
So
one
suspicious.
is sort of standing aside from the door and sort of like he sort of bows and like indicates that you should enter. He's like,
No, I'm like, look, you come out or deal's off. I haven't done my action yet, and if he's gonna be all like not doing what I ask, I'm just gonna shoot a produce flame in his face. That's exactly what I'm gonna do if the monk doesn't start walking out.
Did you say something to? I mean, so he like.
No, I did. I said, hey, if you don't come out, deal's off. Because that's what I told him. I said, tell them to go.
Okay.
Not, I'm gonna stay in the room. No, that's not the deal. I said, tell them to go. That's not going. That's staying.
Yeah, he's he looks over to Mirage, who you can't see it, but if you could, you would know that Mirage gives him a signal rather. So kind of nods back to Mirage and essentially does the same thing, sort of like moves quickly past you, and again, assuming you're not blocking them, the two of them will sort of they're watching you as they step down the hall to make sure you're not going to follow them.
Nope, I stay where I am.
In fact, I almost think they would go down to. They go down to here? No, that's probably stupid. They wouldn't do that. All right, so that's and you marked down the one more turn on the
Yep.
sphere. Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
I did.
We're gonna say so. By now, we're gonna say that I think by now, Kaylin and Farron are pretty much finished searching around in their rooms, and maybe they can act again on the next round. So he seems to be waiting to see what you're gonna do now.
Okay, so with my action, I am going to move in the room.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on. I'm over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically, I have one more space, but we'll just say that I don't. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna stand here.
Okay. Perfect. So you start walking,
I
stand shoulder to
dashed.
shoulder.
I dashed with my.
I sort of walk in just sort of standard, cautious but not particularly threatening, just sword shield at my side and lowered.
Yep.
I am Bossalon, herald of the great sorceress Kyra.
And I'm kind of looking around like, what? Like, we're still doing this? And I'm like, yes, this is my champion. And I'm kind of like...
So he does one of these kind of where he keeps his eyes on you both, but he bows his head sort of in like a greeting, just dips his head a little bit as a sort of a pleasantry, if you will. And then he says, and I am Mirage Vizan. Hold on, hold that thought. He says, I am Mirage Vizan, second in command to Marlos Ernrail, the prophet of Earth. You do not have the look of the fire cult. In fact, no, he doesn't say that. He says you do not have the look of he says you do not have the look of the eternal flame. You do not bear their markings. Therefore, I assume you are not of their members. Which leads me to believe that you are perhaps adventurers.
Yes, actually.
He seems almost amused.
I said, look, I'm gonna level with you. The reason that we came here was you had some slaves, and that's not cool. I mean, I get that you gotta have help, but you should pay them, not just keep them hostage and lock them up. That's really bad. And so, because of that, kind of had to clear out your whole area. So, what's that about?
It's truly distasteful, isn't it? I
Yes.
am but a mere mud sorcerer, perhaps sorcerer like yourself. I simply seek to better understand the elements to be able to control them and bend them to my whims. Perhaps as you yourself. And he indicates the flaming sphere.
Okay, so when he does that, I'll say, okay, how about this? I'll drop my sphere as a show of let's talk nicely, but I need my king to come in here and speak with you because I can't do anything without my king. This is persuasion.
So he raises an eyebrow and he says, there are more of you then.
Yes, there's one more.
I suppose it makes sense. You must be quite powerful for only two of you to have.
Well,
such
I'm
havoc.
not that. He, however, and I'm point over to Basil and say, he's a badass. Like he really can like really seriously kill all of y'all. I mean, it's a good thing that you made the deal to let them go because, hey, I'm not saying anything about you. You're probably really good at what you do, but he is like slaughters without conscience and he is totally awesome, which is why I always have him with me. However, at this point, I am asking, is that a deal?
He looks at Boss and he says, quite. And so just so I'm clear, you're offering to let down the flame sphere
Drop
if
my
he'll give you
sphere
a moment to get someone else
to
in
get
here.
my king. I'm talking about Farron because he does a lot better talking than I do, which is the reason I'm trying to get Farron to come in here. I don't want to talk. I will mess up this whole thing, and Kyra knows it. Kyra knows it.
I can jump in as well if I see her starting to stumble a little bit. I don't
Yes,
want
you
to
do.
like step over that.
Right, of course.
I go, Mirage, it is well met. We are here, as you see, as adventurers, for different reasons, but this temple has been a bane to the area around it. And of course, you understand we cannot allow that. You have been harboring, you've been taking slaves, there have been raids, you've been harboring unsavory creatures of sorts in here. We've seen Etten, we've seen ogres, we've seen Duergar. So if you truly wish to live in peace, we have no objection with you doing your research, having a few guards around, and so forth. But these other activities must end. If perhaps you're amenable to that, we could perhaps see that you achieved a promotion, and could come to an arrangement where the new management of this facility is more suitable to its neighbors, shall we say?
What he said.
He said. So he looks you both, and he says,
Wise counsel.
He says, yes, of course. Call your king or companions in so that we may have
No. Not his king, my king. There's a difference.
conversation. And it's it would. But I must admit, I do not. Let's see. What do you want to say?
Tell you what, shall I go fetch the other two, Kyra?
Yeah, that's fine. As soon as he gets there, I'll drop my sphere.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll wait and let you guys do that. These two.
I'll head out. Are these two
They're gonna
clowns
basically come in here and just like stand there.
No, they need
still
to
stare
be
at the
like.
carnage? I'm gonna go yell for Kalen
they can do
and
whatever right
Farron.
now.
Yeah, by this time, I mean they're ready to sort of return with you.
Seeing as these other guys speak common, I'll be like, Lord Kalen, Lord Farron, the great sorceress requests your presence in the room below for discussions with the honored sorcerer.
Kaylin probably says something goofy like "coming, dear" or something.
Making something.
So yeah, he'll skirt around these two, kind of give him a hairy eyeball, and head down.
Yeah, I'll just, I guess, come out. And some fanfare. I don't know.
I'll say. As soon as they get here, I'll drop my sphere.
Sure. All right. So I mean, they enter the room.
And as that, I'm gonna kind of move this way. I don't want to just be stuck all in one. That just doesn't seem right with the sorcerer.
Yeah. He's sort of
explosion, kill everybody kind of thing. I'm gonna walk that way. All right. So when they
walk, you can see he's still sort of. You gather that he's suspicious of you all, but he's also willing to. He's obviously willing to talk with you. And he goes on to say, as you're waiting for the others to come in, he says, "As I said, I am merely a mud sorcerer. This is my work lab. This is where I am developing new and more powerful spells. Surely you can understand this. I don't agree with everything the Earth cult, the Black Earth, does. In fact, I question many of Marlos's commands and decrees, but he is, after all, apparently the Earth Prophet, and if Ogre Mark deems it in his power and wisdom to guide Marlos, then
So you
who
just
am I to
blindly,
judge?
so you just kind of blindly follow without really checking up on whether you should be following certain individuals. Is that what you're saying? Having this discussion while they're coming back.
Yeah.
Um,
He says, well,
because there are plenty of laboratories that you could be using. You chose to have your laboratory in this hellhole, and honestly, it kind of makes you look a bit guilty. Just saying.
understandable, given the circumstance. It behooves me, being that the great Ogre Mark is powerful and has, in small ways, I believe, subtly influenced my findings and studies and practice. He has my respect.
So can I do an insight to see if he's like not bullshitting me and he's actually telling the truth?
Yeah, for sure.
I hope I don't get a bad insight. I have great insight and I always roll horribly. Okay, that's better.
As far as you can tell, he seems like he's being forthright.
Okay, so
now that you're in the room too,
yeah, I'm gonna drop it.
you get a better look at this human, and you actually are not sure that he's actually human. Again, his skin is almost
Perfect
like a
sight.
like a dirty color. And it seems like he's got mud clinging to him, and actually it almost like falls off as he walks and moves, and then you'd almost expect that the mud would fall away and then there'd be a spot of cleanness, or at least the mud wouldn't be there, but it's like it's almost as if it's there again a moment later.
When I see Colin walking, because Colin walked in first, I say, "Oh, hello, advisor." And then when Farron comes in, I bow and I say, "Oh, my king, he's here, like that." And I'm saying, you can talk to him. He speaks, at least for me. I'm not gonna say he speaks for everybody here, but he speaks for me.
But who speaks for him?
Who knows?
Come on, Gregory, this is your acting opportunity here. Play both sides.
Exactly.
It kind of goes around in a circle. Somebody speaks for him. And
well, I guess what's our agenda here? I sort of made the offer.
Yeah,
that's what I was wondering.
So that's why I kind of did that to take Kyra out of it, because Kyra kind of sees things a lot in mostly black and white, but there can be some grays if the person shows that they're trying to be, forthright. So she doesn't want to make the decision. So I'm like, I have this guy with me, this fighter, because he's my advisor. So we're going to listen to him. And then Farron comes in. I'm like, yep, but this is my king. He talks for me. And she's just going to keep passing it on to whoever else. That's basically what she's going to do.
Got it. Okay. So, did Farron want to say something when she indicates you? And
I'm just looking confused, but not really.
Farron's going to think on his feet. I'm hoping. Yeah. That's what Kyra's hoping.
He says, so seeing you and Kaylin walk into the room, he says, clearly you are, as you say, a small band of adventurers, not connected with the Cult of Fire, and this is very good. I say they, perhaps, are the ones you might wish to look more closely at. They are insidious, they are infringing upon this domain and intend to wreak havoc and chaos, and they're constantly stirring up trouble. As you know, the fire is one of the most destructive elements that we know of, and their ways are spreading in ways they should not. Ways are ways. That's a wonderful statement. But
What do you mean by that?
well, they are constantly trying to push their influence out into the world. Surely you understand. They wish to, well, quite frankly, it seems, destroy. He says, I can point you in the direction that they are currently fortifying themselves, and you will find others there that are far more vile and contemptible than any of those you might have encountered here are. I can assure you that. In fact, I would go so as far as to offer you payment, mercenaries that you are. How does that sound?
Kind of look around like.
I look at him.
So-
we shall consider it. There is some truth to what you say. Men
just
build
look
with
at-
stone; they destroy with fire.
Quite
I
right.
look at Caleb and I say, well, as king, we haven't said anything yet. We don't even know who you are. We come in here and you spout words of another being the destructive one and how we should take them out.
He says,
doesn't
I am Mirage
Sounds
Vizar.
like
I am a mud sorcerer. I have been,
Lord
up to this point, second in command to Marlos Ernrail, the Earth Prophet, who guides the Black Earth.
you're saying you seem very eager to rid the world of this fire cult.
Would they
Right.
would they say that they're eager to rid the world of the Earth Cult?
I can't say that I know. I have had little to no dealings with them.
Well,
You
no,
say
no,
fire
no! You
destroys.
said before I came in here that, hey, are you part of the Fire Cult? So you're saying now that you have little to no dealings, but you clearly decided from my flaming sphere that that's who I might be. Kind of seems like a bit of a lie.
So you
Well,
say
he's saying, well, I have had no direct dealings with them. I spend most of my time here, working with earth and to some degree with water, and but I have been told I see those coming back with the scars, the other members of our order that have been directly in combat with them and such.
I say,
I know of them. I have not had any
I'm walking
dealings
this
with
way.
them.
As I say, oh, and I start looking at the stuff on the table as he's talking.
Yeah,
you say fire destroys.
he's watching you. It's alchemical
also-
supplies.
Fire can bring life. Clearly, you would know about forest fires and things like that, where they bring up the new seeds and things like that.
Yeah. And I turn
And
around and
also, the air cult and the water. We had dealings with both,
Have you then?
and also with the fire cult. Not pleasant dealings. We have dealt with some of their.
He has not referred to himself or his group as a cult. And honestly, if Gregory has said fire cult, I apologize. He's actually been saying I keep making that mistake. The elemental, what is it called?
The eternal
Right,
flame.
Eternal flame. Every time he
Eternal flame.
refers,
Yeah.
if I say that, I'm sorry. That's my fault. My slip as a person.
Okay.
as
Alright,
Gregory.
well, I would have.
Every time he mentions them, he says the eternal flame, and every time he mentions his own, he refers to the Black Earth. So he's never said cult. He just refers to the two groups. He did say order, but yeah, groups, order.
I would have meant that then. If he was saying that, then I would
Fair.
have said that.
They're a Bengals
Because
cover band.
I would have.
We've had dealings with the Eternal Flame. I'm really guessing at that because we've dealt with fire elementals in a town and water elementals. So I'm guessing. and then we've been to that air place.
Yeah.
Well, we heard what they were called, right? They were the Howling something, right?
Howling Hatred. Yeah, I don't. Did you see on one of their missives?
got-
I think you got like
we've
a.
Yeah, we got a missive of
I
something.
think
Because we got
you did.
attacked by them and their creepy vulture dudes.
Mhm.
And we
Here
have
it
this
is.
stuff
Oh,
like
Marlos's testament, is that what it was, or letter?
I'm looking at that. I think you did get that bit
We
of
are pleased to
info.
learn about the outcome of your altercation with the Black Earth. Masonry.
Yeah, did you find it?
we have the letter to Thrall Masruka where it talks about the
They
Black Earth
talked
cult.
about themselves as the Feather Gale Society.
Yeah. Because we've got the
Feather
Black Earth
Gale
cult mentioned in the letter.
Knights.
Yeah,
What was
that's what I'm looking at right now. I was looking at that.
monastery.
I'm trying to think if you ever got that word.
I don't remember.
Wait. You might have one of the slaves might have said something about that. Let me see.
And then we have the letter from the king dude who says elimination of the cults or cults.
Yeah.
Someone. So the dude that was catatonic, Droth. He was a mercenary thug in the service of the Howling Hatred.
And there was an
cult.
earth elemental
So
that attacked the city as well.
That's right.
So far there's been a fire and a water and an earth elemental attack the city.
Right.
Yeah.
And as far as I was playing,
You all
I
didn't
mean,
encounter any air
No,
elementals.
but we got that notice from the king
Right.
when they
yeah. So I mean, as far as we're concerned, they're all pretty much the same. At least that's what I'm concerned. Kyra's concerned with.
Yeah, I'm basically trying to point out it's like, all right, we know about these different cults, but I'm not using the word cult.
Sure.
It's like, okay, you're really going like, hey, go deal with them. Leave us alone and go deal with them. It's like, okay, what are you going to get out of that if we go deal with them?
Yeah,
That's kinda
because
what
pretty much
so
what
it's like,
the
I
air
probably would have ended
one
it,
said to us about the
like,
earth.
you know, so you know, you're very, very insistent that we deal with them and leave you be. You know, so what do you get out of it?
Good question. Let me consider.
Kyra
Let Gregory consider that for a moment.
Kyra is picking up different flasks and going like, "Who? What's this? What's this?"
And then
You
I'll
see
and
him
I'll probably
like
be
wincing
like,
a little bit, like, my dear, would you please?
we come from Agick, and we've had dealings there, and they've previously been attacked by fire elementals, water elementals, and we just got word from earth elementals attacking as well.
And this is the Earth place, as I'm saying, as I'm picking up different. I'm being like really nosy. I'm trying
Being
to.
second in command, you would probably know about these attacks, and unless you're not really as important as you believe.
And I say, see, this is why he's my king. And I still turn around and pick up the stuff, and I'm like kind of looking at the stuff. And I want to slide a hand one and stick it in my pocket. That's what I want to do while his attention is diverted to talking. I want to try to see if I can slide a hand one.
Okay. Go for
But
it.
I would wait until he starts talking. I want to make sure that when he responds, so that he's paying attention to.
I pretty much like stop talking and just like waiting for him.
I mean, because I'm kind of like looking behind me and going like, so I keep going like, what's this? And what's this? And what's this? And as soon as he starts talking and diverts his attention, I want to slide a hand something into my pocket. This might go terribly wrong, but
No, go for it.
I feel like Kyra would do that just because. But yeah, I'd wait for him to talk because I don't want to mess up stuff.
Well, he says, you can certainly see that Marlos has brought it upon himself to spread the word of the power of Earth and the importance of its force. He has done many things, including creating the Order of Monks. One was here a moment ago as my assistant. We seek to better understand and bring ourselves closer to that power. My work here, you notice he's sort of like, he's like, it's almost like he's like digging his feet into the dirt. It's like it's sort of a nervous tick or something like that. Like he's trying to like get closer to the earth or something.
He's gonna use the mud against us.
Just more. It seems like he feels more comfortable. Like
That's Michelle talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyra probably thinks that he's just nervous. Kyra is busy sliding hand whatever chemical potion flasks into her pockets.
He says, well, I know very little of these. Did you mention the air cult? The Howling Hatred?
I probably implied.
So, yeah, so. I don't. So I have to make a decision.
If we didn't know about them, then I wouldn't
know about the elemental attacks. I'm gonna do. Let's see.
So you're more inclined to just stay here, do research, dig yourself in, as it were.
He kind of smiles at that. Nothing would please me more.
Well, and if you were aware of these attacks outside of this area, and would you be against such things?
If he was aware, say that again for me, Reed. I apologize.
If he was aware of these attacks, would he be against such things?
Aware of the elemental attacks?
Yes.
I'm
going on the assumption that they're sending them to attack.
So he does not appear to notice as Kyra snatches something off of the table.
Yeah.
What it is, you have no idea because you're not
Doesn't
an
matter.
alchemist.
Doesn't matter. I want it anyways.
And so he.
That's definitely one of my quirks, unfortunately. A little bit too curious about the outside world.
He says, truly, I have very little interest in what happens in the outside world. That Marlos oversees all those matters, and I'm quite willing to let him lead. I merely wish to continue my work here. That is all. Now, as I have said, I would like to get back to my work. Would you care to take up my offer? I'm willing to pay you, say, shall we say there are 4 of you? Let's see, what can he offer you?
I kind of just smirk. I look at Kaylin and I say, "Oh, he didn't answer my question, did he?"
Well, he sort of did, but it was
about the whole. What do you get out of it? What do you get out of it?
What does he get out of?
What does the Earth people get out of the fire people being go away? You know, go
Right.
deal with them. Leave us alone.
Yeah. So if we do that, then what does he get?
So he will indicate that it will just strengthen their hold and their position, if you will, their dominance over the other
So-
elements. That's all he really kind of says.
Less fire attacks, more earth attacks?
Because we can't. I mean, that would be. I would be remiss if we left you here to finish your work and all you did with it was just kill people. That's not right. You're supposed to just be working on this stuff.
Or perhaps if you're so adverse to these attacks, maybe you should be in charge. Maybe you should help us put you in charge.
I have no wish to lead, and surely you can agree that, as nature wills it, we will all die someday. Whether it be by one element or another.
Does this seem to be genuine? I mean, within my ability to,
Yeah, you
I
can
don't know,
give me an
detect
insight check.
perception or something.
As
Yeah,
far as you can
I'm
tell,
getting
he
kinda
seems to be
suspicious, too.
genuine. So there's probably an element of self, preservation happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Kyra's pretty sure that he was being straight up at the beginning. You can go ahead and make an insight check there for Boss Alarm.
Yeah.
Because I kind of, when Farron says that, I kind of perk
Powerful.
up. And you totally believe
Yeah.
him.
I would almost like gesture the others outside for a moment.
I will stay inside with him
Oh.
to make sure he
Well,
doesn't do anything sneaky while they step out.
I'll
Like, they're
look
gonna
at
stay out,
Mirage.
but I'm gonna stay in here because I have some questions. And I start walking over here.
He's like,
I'll look at Mirage, say, we shall consider your offer. If you'll excuse us for a moment, please. Gentlemen, can I see you in the hallway?
And I wave him over to me, to this table. And I start picking things up from the table, going, "Oh, what's this?" And I kind of show him, "What's this?"
he's not gonna let you. So when you try to, he's not gonna let you guys get on opposite sides of him. So I'm gonna move you back here. When you try to cross, he'll basically get in front of you.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just
He
walk.
would let you walk around the other way. But
Yeah,
he's,
sure. I'll walk this way,
again,
and
he's not. You know, he's
and then
not,
I'll be like, I'll come here and be like, "Hey, what's this?" And I start picking up stuff. What's this? What's this? I'm basically trying to distract them so they can have their conversation without him listening in. That's what Kyra is essentially doing. And keeping an eye on him to make sure he's not doing any kind of hinky thing without us being aware.
So is Kalen coming out too?
He'll say,
I mean, I'm not trying to be hostile or anything, because I would say that Kyra is probably genuinely interested in what the items are, but also in the back of her mind is this would be a good way to keep an eye on him, so he doesn't do anything weird while they walk out to have the conversation.
he says, those are the chemicals I use for my alchemical experiments, for my studies, and if our business is done here, I would ask that you would all leave and
But we're not. You just asked us to do something, and they said they would consider it. And while we're waiting, I figured I'd ask you what the stuff is. So what's this? You said alchemical, but what is this specifically?
he doesn't. Let's see.
I mean, you have to give us a moment to contemplate on your offer. I mean, you wouldn't expect.
What is
people
Boss
just
Alon's
decide.
intent?
I just want to talk to Kalen and Farron. And is Kalen going to be joining us?
I mean,
This is gonna take a
you could have a whispered conversation in the room. So he's trying to discern why you're gonna leave, and
Oh, that's fine. I can just whisper with him then. That's good. I just want to get out of this,
he was sort
unending loop of discussion with this guy.
of.
So
He'll
I just
sort of
want to
raise
tell
a
this
hand.
guy.
Yeah.
I just want to tell these guys that, hey, I don't think this guy is particularly a huge threat to us. If anything, we'd be in a better position if he's in charge of this place. I say we ignore him to his, science and whatever seems to obsess, and go focus on, pretty much killing his soldiers and the true leader of this place. But let's figure out where this fire cult is. If anything, he'll be the weak player in any interfaction competition in the future. Better him than having some other strong man get into position.
Okay. I'm gonna leave Kalen sort of out of the discussion, so it's more between you and Farron. That was something that somebody up in the temple had it.
Yeah, it was in was it in the Lich's place?
No.
Oh, okay.
It would have been.
I wrote it down, but I didn't write down where it was.
Yeah.
It would have been in one of the others. Where the heck is it? That would have been in. Marlos's testament would have been in the scriptorium, which was the.
That's right. Yeah, I remember. That was that room with all the books.
It was
it
was like
looted
a little sort of library-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, I remember that too. Okay, that makes sense. Kyra is asking him specifically, "What is this?" Instead of just like, I know he says alchemical supplies, but I'm like, can you tell me what it is? I just want to know. I'm just curious. She really is curious.
Yeah, he says that's. He says that is a mild acid I use to separate the chemicals in this earth and precipitate out different materials. And he goes off on some like chemical description of like.
Kyra is just interested. She acts like, and she actually might be. I'm not gonna say acts like, but yeah, she's interested in what he's saying and listens.
I'll probably whisper back to Barcelona and be like, I think this guy would probably be a better leader because
you all,
to adverse as to violence as the other one. However, I don't think he will. The Malros is proclaimed as like a prophet. He had visions and stuff like that. There was like he has this weapon or something, earth power thing called Iron Fang.
I agree. Marlo seems like the threat that needs to be left with. If anything, better to know this guy may be the one attempting to pick up the pieces and probably doing a poor job of it. Then,
I don't think we should let any of this like see. He's got this thing. What I read, it was called the Black Geode, and it's something like a mountain, and if it's left unchecked, it'll like remake this whole land. So it seems to me like this person wants us to go deal with the fire people so that they can have time to get their plan in motion. It's kind of like a distracting thing. And who knows, like we've had dealings with like fire elementals and water elementals, they could be, and like the missive said that you brought, it had cults on it, so cults or cults, so maybe there's more than just one.
Well, I will default to your leadership. You have dealt with these cultists far more than I have.
I wouldn't mind asking this guy what he knows about the Fane of the Eye, and about the Black Geode. Maybe he thinks we're just dumb adventurers who know nothing, so maybe we can pry him some information because he seems to be a bit chatty. And if he doesn't want to answer, then we'll just kill him, so that's fine too.
I don't hear that. This is just Michelle at it.
And I promise I won't get in the way, no big fireballs or anything. You can swing.
So while you two are having that, or three having that conversation, Mirage basically indicates to you, Kyra, that these are the supplies that help him to deepen his understanding of the elemental powers. And he's like, for example, and he'll show you. He walks over actually, and he's got it. You can see he's sort of keeping one eye on the others, and at the same time, sort of shows you. He points out to some of the vials, and see, that's this kind of earth, and that's this kind of soil, and this and this. And if you combine that, he just starts babbling. Most of it's,
Kyra is really paying attention. She always wants to learn anyways, and who knows, maybe I'll run across these chemicals again and actually know what they are. So Kyra is paying attention.
He turns towards the center of the room. He says, observe, my dear. And he puts his hand out and makes it doesn't seem like it's any kind of a threatening thing. He makes this movement with his hand, and you see some of the soil in the middle of the room sort of ripple, and then it seems like it sort of shifts one way as he moves his hand that way, and then it shifts back the other way as he moves his hand the other way. He says, and he just kind of points as if that's all the explanation he needs to give you.
And I'll say,
and then he's like, you see,
I say, oh, I can do this, and I cast dancing lights around the room, okay. I'm look, and I'm like, who?
Behold the great sorceress.
We're just trying to have conversation. I'm literally I was like, I could do that.
He just raises an eyebrow. He says, so
I was like, I could do other stuff too, but
right. Right.
We're just having a.
You gather that he sized you up for fairly well, and
I was like, ooh, you want to see something cool?
Well, that depends.
I say, now you see them? Now you see them again, and my nails grow out really long, like that.
He kind of takes a half step back. Like I say,
and then I let it go, and I'm like, see, and they're pretty nails, aren't they? See, I can do that too. Since we're
probably done.
He's sort of looking back and forth. Yeah, Bossalon Farron.
I was like, oh, and I can do this, and Kyra is literally trying to go through all her cantrips, basically.
And I'll
I'll
probably just
play with my hands. I'm like, I can juggle.
Wave at him. We've had a bit of a chat, and I think we have one or two more questions, and I kind of look at Basil and like one or two more sort of thing.
As you wish. I defer to your judgment.
He says, very well. Do make it quick. I would like to return to my studies.
So, you've talked about your Earth prophet. I would be very interested in... Yes. I'd be very interested in learning about this Fane of the Eye that he divined.
Right. Hold that thought. Because Gregory needs to check something.
I'm going to be juggling flames.
I thought you were going to be like, want to see a trick?
Yeah, I would have done something like that, but since we're not going I know. Not killing him route, I'm doing the oh, look at that, cool, huh? Yeah. And now they're normal. I'm really just trying to chat with him to keep him distracted so he's not listening to your conversation. I have no idea what this guy can do. But plus, I mean, hey, maybe I might learn something about chemical supply. And in turn, I kind of want to know if it is the same thing that I put in my pocket. That's a big thing, because I don't know what that is. And it means I'm going to have to go find somebody who can tell me.
It lets you shift sand on the ground or dirt?
I don't know. That's why I'm
I mean, I can use Mage Hand to just pick up the dirt.
Hey, look. We'll have the conversation afterwards because I snuck it in my pocket. So I can't very well be like, I stole this from you. Can you tell me what it is? Huh?
I wonder if I just spelled his magic on his dirt, would he be angry?
What is his name again?
His name is Mirage Vizan.
Mirage something.
Yeah, Mirage Vizan.
Vizan. That was what it was.
Miraj. Mirage.
Oh, okay. Well, I told you to spell that wrong.
Miraj. Vizan. Vizann.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't catch the last part, but I would have spelled the first.
I guess it
part
might
wrong
be
anyway.
Mirage, but whatever.
No problem.
Give me one moment. I'm trying to read something real quick.
No problem. I'm just putting in here that alchemical flask from this guy. So I wanted to make sure I spelled it right.
All right, so I'm getting a little lost trying to figure this out because I need to do a little bit more of fact checking to make sure I get everything organized right. So I think how he's going to respond is that he'll say, the Fane of the Eye. Well, that would be below the halls, these ruined halls of Charbasil. It's the first time you've heard this name.
Charbasil?
Yeah, I'll put it in the... That would be the caverns below the ruined halls of... These ruined halls of Charbasil. I would imagine that he has gone to seek the guidance of the Elder Elemental Eye. And that's... I kind of want to, leave it at that for the moment, so I can figure out if he's going to say anything else. I know it's a little early, so I apologize, but I hope that's alright with you guys. Because I'm feeling like I'm not sure how to answer this question right. I don't want to give you guys crap information.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm starting to fade too. Plus, maybe we'll have Colin join us next time, and he's got some additional questions to.
Right, and I think Brett was saying, anyways, that maybe we should end it a bit early.
Yeah.
Did you say that earlier? Did I catch that right?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm sort of faded. I spend a lot of time at the computer writing up the patent, which is dog years. For every actually hour you spend, it feels like 7 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I actually have that written down. So you've mentioned that before.
What's that?
That name that you just wrote.
The Elder Elemental Eye?
Yeah.
Or Charbasil.
Tarbasil.
I think you mentioned that because I joked that it sounded
Because I wrote that down and I put on there dwarf carving.
Fair enough. Yeah, this is... So you
heard
have...
it from one of the dwarves.
Somewhere at some point you've discovered that these are the halls of Charbasil, which apparently is this ancient dwarven complex that you're in right now.
Probably heard it from one of the dwarves, or maybe from one of the slave dwarves.
I don't remember, but that's probably correct. Okay. So he used that name now, and
or maybe the gnome. Maybe the gnome knew.
Yeah, she did because that's what I wrote it down.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
So I'm reading all my notes here.
So I'm gonna leave it at that because I need to do some reading this week and get myself together.
That's all right.
No problem.
All right. Let me do a quick out and then I'll edit it. Once I do the record, I'll edit the recording real quickly. So Mirage gives you these last few words, and that's where we're going to leave it for the moment. We will return next week and finish this conversation with the second in command of the Black Earth, Mirage Vizan, and see if he has any more information to share with the party or if they want to ask him any more questions or execute him. So we'll see. To be determined next time in the Kingdom of Agick. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for being great players. And I will see everyone next week. And in the meantime, when I see you at a table someday, keep rolling 20s.